Small habits, how 1% improvements transform your life. I'm Silvia Fernandes, curator of the Longevity Habitus portal, and today we are talking about one of the most powerful and most misunderstood principles of personal transformation. The idea that small, consistent improvements can reshape your life far more effectively than dramatic change. Lasting transformation rarely comes from radical overhauls. In practice, it emerges from small, repeatable actions sustained over time. The concept of improving just 1% each day is grounded in behavioral science. The brain adapts better to gradual adjustments than to abrupt shifts. Instead of relying on bursts of motivation, this model depends on consistency, on actions so small they feel almost effortless, yet powerful enough to compound over months and years. Research on habit formation shows that repeating simple behaviors in stable contexts increase automaticity. In other words, the more consistently you perform a small action in the same environment, the more your brain begins to run it on autopilot. This is how habits become sustainable, not through intensity, but through repetition. So, why do small changes outperform drastic transformation? Because of one because one of the most common mistakes in self-improvement is trying to change everything at once. Diet, exercise, productivity, sleep, mindset. While ambitious, this approach overwhelms the brain. It creates cognitive overload, emotional resistance, and ultimately leads to early abandonment. The intention is good, but the system collapses under its own weight. Small changes work because they reduce psychological resistance. Walking for 10 minutes feels manageable. Going to bed slightly earlier feels realistic. Drinking more water, stretching for a few minutes, or organizing one small corner of your home doesn't trigger the brain's threat response. These actions are gentle enough to repeat, and repetition is what creates momentum. Over time, these micro habits compound. A 1% improvement may feel insignificant in the moment, but when repeated daily, it becomes a powerful force. You begin to trust yourself more. You build identity-based confidence. The belief that you are someone who follows through, and that identity becomes the foundation for bigger changes later on. Small habits also create stability. They anchor your day, reduce decision fatigue, and make your environment work for you instead of against you. And because they are easy to maintain, they survive busy seasons, stressful periods, and moments when motivation is low. This is why small habits are not just effective, they are resilient. Transformation doesn't require intensity, it requires consistency. It requires choosing actions that are small enough to repeat, meaningful enough to matter, and stable enough to become part of your identity. When you commit to 1% improvement, you are not just changing your habits, you are changing the trajectory of your life. Because the truth is, small habits don't stay small, they compound, they accumulate, and over time, they create a version of you that feels stronger, clearer, and more aligned with the life you want to build. Think about it.